Hello, my name is Erick and I work in business development for Codalation. My team of elite nerds is dedicated to helping turn big ideas into first customers. Building apps and helping develop new businesses allows me to meet amazing people. These people are doing amazing things in our tech community and my actual community of Fargo, North Dakota. I wanted to start a platform to help business leaders and other great people in our community tell their story. Connecting with amazing people is my job. Welcome to my office. In a bittersweet moment for me, this is our last episode. And so my final guests are Lindsay, Paulson, and Heidi Joarnt. And all of us have worked in various marketing roles for the past 10 to 15 years, and we've stayed in touch ever since we really had our, entry-level marketing positions. Marketing has changed so much since we've known each other, and my role at Codalation is changing, and we're evolving our marketing strategy as we speak. And so this week we're going to kind of talk about marketing evolution. No. Okay, we're going to say 3, 2, 1. Better. There you go, Maddie.
Hi, Maddie.
Welcome, Internet. I am here, and it's a bittersweet day for me as we have expanded as a team. We got to 100 episodes, and we need this space for new nerds. And I have 2 new marketing people filming this. I'm just jacked and at the same time. And so to kind of farewell-ish. I thought I wanted to bring in some of my oldest marketing friends. That was my most veteran compadres.
You can say old. It's okay.
That's okay. We're peers. And so, I'm here with Heidi Joarnt, not sure, which I screwed up in the last time, and Lindsay, not bad, Paulson. Because we've known each other forever. And so can you guys just tell us a little bit about you and your role? And we'll start with Lindsay.
So I work in public relations. I've been doing it I had to think about this before I came on the show, for 13 years now. I've been in PR. So what I do currently is, a lot of people think of event planning or media relations, and it has some of that, but it's mostly working with our team members and editors at publications to just tell really good stories and help produce good content that our customers and potential customers would find useful.
I absolutely love it. And Heidi?
I do marketing and communications at an engineering firm, and I interned there right out of college, left for a few years, and then came back and been there ever since. And I guess it's getting close to 10 years or so.
Intern.
Yeah,
that's wacky.
yeah.
And so just to go in a time machine, where did we meet, Lindsay?
I want to say it was in one of the back rows of Ecom or OCOM class at MSU Moorhead.
Yep.
Erick and I had this mutual love of having fun while still doing good work, but having more fun than anything else. And I think we carried that through to every single class that we eventually ended up taking together. We would partner up when possible,
and take that attitude towards everything we've done in life.
Just in life in general.
Softball teams, everything along the way. And Heidi, how did we meet?
We used to work together.
Yes.
So not quite as long of a history, but I feel like we still have,
Because we met when you got hired in the Shields marketing office to be a social media person when social media was new.
I know.
And
crazy.
I was super butthurt. And I hated you because you got a job that I applied for.
Oh, yeah?
And I'm like, it's that Heidi.
I think I'm just learning this now.
I didn't know this either. This is great.
No, because
it's all coming out now.
Time machine. I remember I told you about the job. And my friend Heidi is applying for it too.
Because Heidi and I knew each other.
You knew each other first.
There's lots of connections.
And then she got the job, and butthurt Erick was cutting out posters and doing all of my Shieldsy stuff, and then I saw the work that she did. I'm like, that's great. That makes sense. She's talented and delightful. Good job, Shields. And so, that's just kind of crazy. And so, was Shields where you got your start in marketing, or?
Well, I interned at my engineering firm that I'm at now, then went to Shields, and then now I'm back there at
crazy.
Houston Engineering. So,
what was your first marketing gig?
Well, technically, my first job out of college I was an administrative assistant at an architecture and design firm, and I just sort of started. They didn't have a marketing person or a communication, so I just sort of started doing stuff. So whenever I could, and sort of offering that up. And then I ended up getting a job at an ad agency as a writer, which
Sure.
I really wanted to be a writer.
Yeah.
Marketing.
We were on the copywriting team on the ad campaign together.
We were. That was where I wanted to end up. And yeah, that's how I got my start.
Because group projects in college are great.
Well, when you have good
It depends on the group. Sometimes
it's each other.
We both rated each other as adequate team members.
I would say so. And I think it didn't hurt that we would go get food afterwards.
I know. So much
a mutual
food.
love of food.
Bond over food.
Yeah.
Yes. And so as we sit here as veterans to the marketing field, how much has marketing evolved since your first marketing role? And we'll start with Heidi this time.
Sure. So digital is really the biggest evolution I've seen. You mentioned, when I started doing social media at Shields, it was just kind of getting started, beginning stages, and now that's a staple for any marketing nowadays. And with the pandemic last year too, just everything going digital and video, that's definitely changed. None of that was taught, during college for me. So that's just something you learned on the job.
Yeah.
And it's exciting, but yeah, it's definitely, everything's going digital.
And absolutely terrifying. And Lindsay.
Kind of similar to that, I was going to say, putting it in terms of what I do is, our clients, the big win with a client was if you got a print publication story.
Yeah.
And online, it was sort of we don't really care about getting on their online edition. We want to be in their print magazine.
Yeah.
And not to say that print is dead, because I still enjoy reading print
There's
stuff.
There's avenues for everything.
Yeah.
Right.
But now it's totally shifted to, it's you need to have that online story first, get that link back to your site, all that stuff that matters now. Hopefully you also get in the print magazine, but it's really online is where it's at.
And what's interesting to me is you made me sign up for Facebook.
Did I?
You did. I have super weird specific memory.
I signed up because one of our teachers had
Dan Johnson.
Yeah, lesson plans and stuff. He's Erick, we should probably do this. We should probably get in on this.
And then you came up to me are you on this thing yet? And I'm like, what's this thing? And now it was everything, and now it's even evolving kind of past it, where it's I don't know, Facebook is Zuckerberg's bugging me.
That is a fun little anecdote, that when Erick and I were in college, that's when Facebook started.
Yeah.
So
right.
Let's
I remember, you had to have the EDU, right? For your email to sign up. So exclusive.
And so, we're evolving our marketing right now as this is ending, and we're going to take everything and make it better, and everything has to evolve. And again, it's weird and sad, but we're doing it's going to be better, I promise. It's like the end of college. Or oh man, this is the end of something that I've worked on for years. What do you guys see marketing kind of evolving to? Or what are some of the next steps people should be aware of, or maybe focusing some attention towards?
I think you can't, this is going to make me sound like an old lady, but I think you can't go wrong with really good, clear writing skills. If we're talking about younger people who are interested in this area and what they should be thinking about, I think it goes back to just learn how to write really well, because no matter what changes come, that's always something that's going to be needed.
I like that. Heidi?
Yeah, I 100% agree. Storytelling is so powerful. The way people are getting their stories may evolve, digital video, but really it comes down to having a well-written story.
And even media writing, this is to the newspaper, instead of I'm going to skip that step and this is to Twitter. And it's still the same. This is what we're doing. This is why you should be excited about whatever thing you're doing marketing pieces for. And again, it's storytelling. It's being creative about it too, and being different. And that will never go away. The medium might change. And so let's see what else we got for questions here. Here's an interesting one. As we bring on new people, and we've been in this long enough to know this. Setting goals is kind of disgusting in marketing because some of it's unmeasurable.
Yeah.
So how do you guys set marketing goals, or what do you use for metrics, or how do you go back to a very analytical, perhaps software engineer owner and say, this is why I started a talk show?
Not just for fun.
Well, it is for fun, but again, we'll get into the goals of this show and why we're moving on a little bit. But how do you set your marketing goals?
Well, I could start. I guess for my role for engineering, it's definitely a different industry. So we do have some analytic sides. So we submit proposals and we can really track that analytically, like what we're going after. We have all those numbers. We have a hit rate. So that's really great. That's probably like 90% of our work. And so, but when it comes to the other side of marketing, people commonly think of, like website, the content marketing. We really focus on, we do look at analytics, but we really focus on the quality of our content that we're sharing. And our goals is promoting our people, promoting our clients' work. Yep. And so we look at the end of the year, like what kind of content did we share? And like we obviously want to share a good amount of it, but quality content. And did our clients appreciate it? Building those relationships. Right. So that's really a lot of what we look
unmeasurable
at
stuff.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah.
But it's good to know that even from a more senior level, that just hearing from another person, like, no, some of that stuff is unmeasurable, and you just have to trust your feelings.
You have to paint the value in different ways for stakeholders in the company.
Yes.
So,
And so, again, working for a bigger corporation, how do you deal with goals? And
it's a similar, like I was going to say, mine is more like less marketing driven and more PR driven. I work with our marketing team, and really for us, a lot of it is like, are we providing value to support their campaigns?
Right.
And one of the ways that we measure is if we can combine all the different channels. Like we work with the peso model, so paid, earned, shared, and owned stuff. So if we're providing content in all 4 of those buckets, we know that we're reaching more people, we're getting them in different areas, and it really adds more value. Like we track impressions and some of those, you could call them vanity metrics,
right.
But it is a good way to show how many different potential people we're reaching, and then we boil it down similar to what you do in terms of the quality. So we look at things like, what publications did we get in? Maybe they didn't have as high a reach as this one, but it's a really good targeted one.
Exactly.
Right.
And we look at
target market. Yeah.
And we look at how many people were driving to our website, because then the marketing team can convert that into their big goals and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there's a couple different ways, and of course we take that anecdotal feedback that you can't measure. Like if someone from John Deere watches our video and comments on it, it's like that's a huge win for us, even though you can't measure that and put it in a report. So
well,
absolutely.
and like the weird part, in the sales, more sales, because again we're a smaller company and I handle all the buckets. I'm the extrovert bucket. So in the sales side, I've looked at every organic impression we get basically turns into $1 in our pipeline. It's not exact science, but like that's what
you can put a dollar value on it.
That's what it kind of boils down to. And again, when we started this show, I wanted to, we talk about the goals. I wanted to be able to produce quality video content, because that I felt was so important going into 2018. Yeah, no, it's been a journey, and I wanted to increase our reach and just start building a social footprint. And now we got to like 250,000 people last year.
Wow.
Organically. And I can go back to Josh. I'm like, remember when it was 3? It was 3. Now we're to like real things. And it's exciting to like, oh, check. Now what's next?
Yeah.
It's an exciting next step. What, we have Kenna and Jonathan recording this. Yeah. And what advice do you have to anyone just their first week in this field of communications?
Well, I would say just kind of take baby steps and don't try to bite off too much, that you can chew. Like, just always keep that drive to learn and that vision in front of you. But if you try to, maybe this is just me, like try and do it all right away, you need to just kind of master small things and just grow from there.
I think you guys specifically here in the room, but those of you who aren't in the room, if you're in a position where you get into a job in communications and marketing right off the bat, like bravo for you. That's impressive. Like me, for example, I didn't, but I still took that as an opportunity to learn a lot. My first boss was like a mentor to me. I learned so much just like watching how she worked and just like getting that rapport. So I would say, don't be afraid to take a job if it's maybe not like your dream job right away, because you'll probably still get there. It'll just take some time and always be learning.
It's punching the mountain. And my advice would be just do everything that Erick hates. And
There'll be a job?
No. I think, and this goes back to you two sitting next to me, stay connected with the people that you
Yes.
respect, and just keep talking to them, because they're gonna be your network is such a resource that people don't understand. Stay connected with the people that you like in your classes. Like
Relationships are so
or
important
along
in
the
this
way,
industry.
it's-
We haven't talked about that directly.
Yeah,
no
that's a
one,
very good
everyone forgets that. And again, I just drive that home with everyone I've ever worked
Yeah.
with. It's so important
Agree.
to
Right.
know the right people and to, again, stay connected. Because I remember looking at your Christmas animation thing. Oh, Heidi, that was really good. Like, bravo. How'd you do it?
Yeah.
That's
You
so
get
true,
those
though.
insider kind of things. Like, where did you go to do that? We want to do the codulation version of Merry Christmas, or like the fun, so many things. So yeah.
Well, that kind of goes back to the whole, like, wanting to learn. You learn from your network and collaborating and share ideas. And so.
And it's nice to be able to reach out and say, like, oh, how? Something it's so important. And so, yeah, we're going to get to our, like, last nerd question. Just like,
This is such not a nerdy question, though. This is a great question.
it's a nerd question.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so we had CDs because we're old. And so
Had CDs. I no longer have CDs.
Sidebar. I want to buy one of those old jukeboxes that they had at Pizza Hut that you'd like flip through the thing to like put my CDs in, because that would be the
there you go.
coolest flipping thing. So that's on my list.
Christmas for Erick.
No, it's like $1,000. It's kind of expensive. I've dug into it a little bit. We have to sell so much software. Please buy some software. Internet. I want to buy a jukebox for my Blink 182 CDs. Anyway, if you could go, concerts are a thing because COVID's under control. What band and what album would you want to see live from your CD collection, and they have to be alive?
I feel like I know your answer.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go first.
Yeah, it's derp.
People might not know that I'm a fan of this band called 311.
Such a
Okay? For like most of my life, I've been a fan. And
Yeah.
one of their oldest albums, like their first, I think would say probably like produced studio album, because it's the same guys that have been in the band like since they were teenagers,
Oh,
right?
that's crazy.
It's been a long time. The album is called Music, and it's the first one that I listened to. I like snuck into my brother's room and like stole his CDs. I was probably like 12, and it was like explicit lyrics and all this. But it's so great, and it'd be super fun to hear them play it now live, however 30 years later, and just how they've evolved and hear how they would interpret their one of their oldest.
I remember in college when we first started becoming friends. It's 3/11 Day. And
My favorite day of the year.
It was so weird on
always
March
think of you
11th,
on that
and
day.
we still till
celebrate.
this day. Yeah, no.
I have two boys now, a
Yep.
baby and a toddler, and we wore matching. We won't wear matching PJs for Christmas. I'm not that kind of mom, but I bought them matching 311 shirts to wear with me on 311.
Yeah, you're not that kind of mom. Heidi, what is your answer?
Well, I thought very nostalgic as well,
Yeah.
since we were talking about CDs. I had a hard time like trying to remember like albums because I listened so much, like just songs.
Yeah.
But I went back to, I love Fall Out Boy. Like it brings me back to my first year of college. And I believe it's Under the Cork Tree, that album. And
Okay.
yeah, they were on a hiatus for a while, but they're,
You got a fan over
Dancing
yeah.
in the background.
But I would love to see them live. I just never did. So yeah,
Yet.
they're so fun.
Concerts are a
That
thing
was-
again.
Yeah.
Mine, I think, and I'm fighting between Green Day and Blink 182, but Anima of the State was like
So good.
so good. And like the videos where they're running around streaking and they're making fun of boy bands, and like that's just me. So yeah. We're gonna go with Anima of the State.
I can still listen to that whole album through, and it's great.
It
never get
is.
sick of it.
Again, it's delightful. And
Yeah.
so no business chart this week. I don't need to have it, because when I started them, it was like a natural break that I could screw things up halfway through. And then when we got to the business chart, last three questions. But no, I wanted to thank you guys for being like a good marketing influence in my life. And I wanted to just take a moment to thank everyone who's watched, everyone who's been on. The criteria was you're starting a business, you're doing good things in our community, or you're just a great person in our community. So thank you guys for being on. Stay tuned. There's some big things coming.
I didn't know how to end.
I did the Zoom wave.
We're so cool, you guys.
So cool.
I can't even handle how cool we are.
Oh man, that's wacky.